The first thing that comes to mind when thinking back about Ironman 70.3 Indian Wells last Sunday is cold. It was very cold.
He's going to get tired. So assist yourself. Keep your head on a swivel. Yes.
Yeah, I put it in.
Everywhere. The wrong one.
On Sunday, December 4th, around 3:30 in the morning is when my alarm went off and I started getting ready for the race. I did the usual in the morning, a cup of coffee, PB&J, and sipping on some electrolytes on the way to the race. We all got in the bus at the tennis gardens around 4:30 in the morning and made it to transition in the lake around 4:45, which was early, really early. At 7 a.m., the swim started. The pros went off at 7, the women went off at 7:02, and then a couple age groupers went ahead, and around 7:15 is when I hit the water. Official water temperatures on that morning were 57 degrees Fahrenheit, which is I think about 9 degrees Celsius. Despite the cold weather and the cold water, I actually felt alright in the swim. Looking back, it was one of the more enjoyable and the best swims I had, although my time was pretty much the same. It was in Oceanside earlier in April, which is 34 minutes and 26 seconds. But I enjoyed the swim. The water was nice. It was calm. Well, duh, it's a lake, right? It's not the ocean. And overall, the swim went well, my sighting went well, my rhythm went well, and I came out of the water without feeling taxed at all. Now, on the bike, I made the decision and not put any extra clothing on, and I was just in my tri-suit, and the first hour was miserably cold. It was so cold on the bike, and trying to get my nutrition in, I couldn't feel my hands. I physically had to look down at what my hands were doing with my nutrition because I couldn't feel anything. The bike course for Indian Wells 70.3 is completely flat, like dead flat. There's not a single little hill or climb, although the roads are fairly rough when we headed out through the farmlands. Since it's a flat bike, it was very uneventful. Most of it is just straight out, bend back, take a turn, straight out, straight back, take another turn, straight out, straight back. It was boring. But on the other side, it was nice. You put your head down, you don't have to worry about a single thing. There were no major potholes, nothing. It was nice. It was the best bike split that I had so far with 2 hours, 48 minutes. But on the run is where it all came apart. The run was by far the worst half marathon time I had, with 2 hours and 20 minutes for the 13.1 mile. The upsetting part is that it wasn't due to fitness, it all came down to nutrition. I already felt on the bike around mile 45, mile 50, my right leg was starting to cramp a little and I was behind on fluids and electrolytes. Now hitting the run, I definitely paid for it. It was too late at this point. I tried to get as much fluid, Gatorade, and salt in on the run, but the damage was done. The run course is a 2-loop around the golf course behind the Indian Wells tennis gardens. And the second loop, the cramps were they were bad. So it was mostly just walking and shuffling and trying to run in between when my legs felt okay until the next cramp hit and I had to walk it out. Overall, the race was a good day. Once it finally warmed up, it was very enjoyable, and I did have a new personal best with 5 hours and 53 minutes, which is coming in about 5 minutes faster than I came in Oceanside earlier in April this year. But overall, I think it was an enjoyable race, and what I learned from it was that I really need to pay attention to my nutrition. But overall, a new best time, a new best bike split, I can't complain. I really wanted another 20 minutes off the run, but it just didn't happen. What am I taking away from this race is that nutrition can really make or break you despite how fit you are. I had the fitness in my legs to run a good half marathon, but after the cramps set in and I was behind on fluids and salt, there was no coming back and fully recovering. So for the next race, I really have to pay attention and figure out my overall liquid intake and my overall salt intake. And I think if you want to go fast on the bike, this is a really good course to just go fast, to just hammer out the bike and get a new PR, just like I did. It was great. For the bike, it was great. For the run course is pretty awful in my opinion. I did not like running on the golf course. It was, a pretty view in the distance, but switchbacks on the golf course, rolling hills, not my favorite, and then having to do that twice. But this concludes 2022, my first year of serious training, of 2 70.3 Ironmans, a half marathon, and a 56-mile bike leg, and overall it was fun. I'm excited for 2023. I'm hoping to get a lot better on the bike, to get my nutrition on point, and heading on the run a little bit more fresh and legs taxed. But now it's time to put the legs up, recover for a little bit, and lose some fitness, and just have a great holidays. Hope you guys have an amazing holidays as well, and I'll catch you